The housing market to me is not, look, I'm not here to be like, the housing market is going to collapse and you should, be careful. Or, hey, the housing market's great and wonderful. What I want you to do is I want you to get a window into where I am. And I feel like if you can see what I see, if you see what I see, then you can make your own opinion. You can make your own judgment on how the market is going based on what I'm seeing and then what experts tell me I'm seeing. I feel like I'm an expert, but whatevs. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to give you an example, okay? And I got to get my other piece of paper for this. And I want to turn that off because I don't want, okay. So I submit to you that the housing market has been broken and it was never really repaired after the housing crisis in 2008. And I know you say, well, that's not possible. I mean, house prices are higher than they were in 2008. Therefore, it's fixed the problem. My response to that is, look, inflation is eating us alive and you have no idea how bad it is. Let me give you the example that I think perfectly summarizes what has gone on in the housing market during my career and why I'm so uncomfortable. Okay, so South City. Let's just say a good zip code in South City, 63109. House, I'm going to just give you a house history, okay? So 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2 full bath, 1,600 square feet, okay? The last time it was listed, it magically became 1,900 square feet because in the city, they've been playing around with square footage so bad lately. Actually, for the last couple of years. Actually, the square footage thing is such a joke in St. Louis. We used to have a standard that we went by. And then now we're not using that standard. We're saying that if you get it appraised and it has a different number, you can use that number. And so it's always a higher number. This house magically grew 300 square feet and they didn't do anything to it, okay? But in 2006, all right, 2006 was right before the housing started to collapse. I think I bought my house in 2007. And I'm still here, so I don't really care. But anyway, 2006, the house sold for $225,000. 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,600 square foot in 63109. In 2009, it went up for sale, which was right in the mess. I mean, it was starting to get prices had started to come down. By then, sold for $195,000. So the person that sold the house and the person that bought the house in 2006, let's just say they lost 30. My math is right. I'm not good on my feet. So the person that bought it in 2009 stayed in that house until 2019, so 10 years. They sold it for $229,000. Well, actually $230,000 because, $229,900, okay? Now, what did they do to the house that the people didn't do in 2006? Nothing. What did they do that the people didn't do in 2009? Nothing. They didn't do anything. It's literally the same house. Has not changed. So in 2019, they were rewarded by getting, a good amount of money, $30,000, pretty much off of doing nothing, 2019. But they'd held the house for 10 years, and I think that ownership history matters. And so, if I were representing the people on the buyer side in 2019, I'd have been like, that's okay, a decent price. I can see that. Well, the house went up for sale again in 2021. What do you think the house sold for in 2021? And this is the illustration of the problems in the housing market. In 2021, we were during this certain phase in our history, which I hope we never repeat. House sold for $271,000. So let's just say $40,000 over what it sold for just 2 years before. And what did they do to the house to justify the $40,000? Nothing. Nothing. So you think, well, that person in 2021, they paid a lot for their house, but as long as they stay in it, they'll be fine. They'll be fine, right? Well, they just put it on the market. And you know what they put it on the market for? Now, remember, we're not in 2% interest rates right now. The interest rate right now is 6.92% on a 30-year fix as of today, right now. Okay? $271,000 in 2021. They're asking $325,000 for this house. $50,000 more than just 2 years ago. Can you believe that? This is, to me, what's wrong with the housing market. You're getting an inflation in prices, okay? But you're getting a devaluation in the dollar at the same time. Your purchasing power is nothing. And why is this? Well, wars. Got to fight wars. We got to pay all that stimulus. And so people are just getting, it's just a disaster. And you say, well, John, this is going to continue. It's so broken. At this point, it's so broken. I just don't see, when it does break, does anybody care? How can the house go up $50,000 in less than a year? Well, a year and a half, and the person does nothing to it? And there's buyers that are like beating down their door to buy the house? Does that not seem screwed up to you? So I don't know what's going to happen. Okay, I don't know. I don't know if the person that buys a house for 325 is going to turn around again in 2 years for 375, because that's how crazy the market is in St. Louis. Now, we're going to go over plenty of tweets and stuff that says the market's terrible, and that's really the issue here. It's people are commenting on what's going on in the market. In the market, real estate is hyper local. Okay, I can tell you what's going on in St. Louis, but I mean, we're still getting bidding wars. We're still getting people, way over asking. It's absolute insanity. And you say, well, John, you're contributing to it because you're telling your buyers that they need to come in with a strong offer. I do. I tell people they need to make a strong offer if they want to get a particular house. I also help them look for houses that I don't think are going to go way over asking. Those are houses usually, it's the inventory. I mean, if you see a house where it's a little old lady that's lived there for 30 years and they haven't fixed anything, many of the younger buyers aren't going to take on that challenge. Okay. House is still probably overpriced, but at least I'm not in a bidding war. And as far as for sales, as a real estate agent, my job is to get the most I can from my client. If I can get $50,000 more than someone else, I gotta go for it. So it's a terrible, terrible market. I don't like it, but that's the market that I'm in. Now, let's go. So today we're going to do something kind of different. We're going to do tweets, okay? And then I'm going to show you what those tweets kind of did for my research and where I went from there, okay? That's the idea. This is kind of like where we did that special one last episode, which if you're on Rumble, it froze in the middle, which isn't cool. I don't know why that happened, but hopefully it works itself out. So